To Venus and Grandview to Godly, this is the voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
Let's be honest, wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair. The world's lightest wheelchair is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
Remember Helen Kerwin? As county commissioner, she raised the tax rate over 95%, increased taxes, utility rates, connection fees, and pushed to give the state even more taxing authority. Well, Helen Kerwin's back, handpicked by the Washington swamp to push a voucher scheme that takes funds away from our local schools and gives taxpayer-funded private school vouchers to illegal immigrants. They'd even go to the front of the line ahead of U.S. citizens and legal residents. It's the very same voucher scheme Dwayne Burns stopped last year before delivering the largest tax cut in Texas history, the strongest border security plan in America, and new laws to protect our kids at school and online. Dwayne Burns is the real conservative who puts our community first. He won't be bullied by powerful politicians or D.C. special interest groups because he doesn't work for them. He works for us. Political ad paid for by the Dwayne Burns campaign.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581.
Attention all business owners and creative minds. Do you need a unique and personalized touch for your products? Look no further than Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs. We offer custom laser engraving services for a variety of products, including promotional items and corporate or personal gifts. With state-of-the-art equipment and a team of skilled designers, we can engrave intricate designs on virtually any material. Whether it's a special message, a company logo, or a custom design, Romika Laser Engraving will help you make your mark. And the best part, our prices are affordable and our turnaround time is quick.
I couldn't be happier with the work Romika Laser Engraving did for me. The engraving on my product was precise and exactly what I wanted.
So don't wait any longer to add a personal touch to your products. Call Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs today at 817-400-4040 or visit our website at romikadesigns.com. We look forward to helping you make your mark. You're listening to Joco Community Radio.
Good morning, Jobfather Nation. Just excited to be here this very Friday. We are excited to be part of North Tex Radio, a member of EMG, a radio and podcast collective, proudly serving communities across North Texas. We are live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network and on our station app. Just feel free to check us out. You can go to tuneinjoco.com. It will be rebranded eventually. Or you can download the Joco Community Radio app, which also will be rebranded eventually as well. But we are very excited to be part of North Texas Radio, and we are the voice of North Texas, formerly Joco Community Radio. With that being said, it is an exciting Friday. We have got some neat things lined up for today. Our biggest hope is that we're bringing ideas, creativity, and opportunity to the job seekers, not only throughout North Texas, but throughout the United States and globally, as our show is a global show. With that being said, before we get into any announcements, and after the announcement, of course, a dad joke, let's go ahead and bow our head for a quick word of prayer. Father God, we're honored to be here today. Help us to honor you by serving the job seeker community. Lord, open our eyes and ears, open doors of opportunity for every job seeker, and we just thank you for your faithfulness. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Well, Foster, any announcements or updates in terms of search for you, open positions, filled roles, anything at all that you'd like to share?
Well, I'm real excited first because North Texas Radio is exactly, well, we have always served all of North Texas, but we will be having studios. We've got a lot of growth here, and we will have studios all over the Metroplex coming soon, guys. You guys will be hearing
So
us singing a
exciting.
different story, singing a different tune. And, we appreciate all you guys being with us today, especially Patty and Michael. And you know what, guys? We had, let me see. We had a banner day, I guess is what you can say, yesterday at South Lake Focus Group. So I want to congratulate. All right, let me see if I get everybody. John Robinson landed, Jana Priest landed, and Cruz landed, and especially I want to give a big shout out to my buddy Christine Dixon, who we call Kit. Kit landed at Oracle in a big role at Oracle, so we want to
All
say yay, Kit,
right.
and everybody. We're continuing to land. Things are going on, guys. The
Market's
company
opening
is
up.
the market. Yeah, it seems to be, and I really, honestly, I don't think it's going to slow down this summer
Mm-mm.
like we usually see. It took us a little while to get started in 2024 on the corporate side, but we seem to be moving in that direction today.
Yeah.
So, all right, congratulations, everybody. And before I want to get to Patty, because Patty's going to tell us about Crystal Knows today and how to use that software. And you guys,
Mm.
believe me, you want to hear what Patty's got to say. But before that, I got a lame dad joke for you guys to start us off. So I've got an ant farm, and in my ant farm, I've got one special ant that dresses up like a clown, and he tries to provide entertainment for everybody. He's our anti-depress ant. Okay,
That's
I
a good
told you it
one.
was lame. It took you guys to get a while to get a hold of that one.
Yeah, I
Okay,
did. I was like, ha ha ha.
I was watching Dana because I knew Dana wasn't gonna get it right away.
Oh, come on. I got it, but I was just
I'm
like,
kidding. We want to say,
is it funny?
Maz,
No, I'm kidding.
Maz, have a good time. Maz is probably out there in the audience listening somewhere. She
Yep.
is in the UK. She is
Yep.
not with us today. So our own Mez Maserati. Hey, girl. We want to say hey and we miss you. And we'll see you when you get back. Oh man, there's Jim Ballard with us already out there. Very cool. There will be others. Mez is not with us today, so she's usually running that side of the ship over there with the oh my goodness, I can't think of the word I'm trying to use. Our comment section over there. So okay, guys, let me introduce you guys to Patty Basche. Patty is a job seeker, but you know one thing today we're we're going to talk a little bit about what Patty's looking for, but Patty's going to tell us about this fun software called Crystal Knows. And Patty, tell us what Crystal Knows is and how we can use it and why we should. You know, I like what it stands for because you know I'm a people person and I like to connect. And that's what we're
Yeah.
trying to do is use that to connect with who we're talking to, who we're interviewing with, whoever it is. So tell us a little bit, Patty, about Crystal Knows.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show today, Foster and Dina. I appreciate it.
Well, we're
So
happy to
Crystal
have
Won't,
you.
won't be the last time.
so Crystal Knows is a personality AI tool, and they came out before the whole AI buzz was happening. So
Hmm.
they were founded back in 2015, and their main goal initially is to sell into corporations, and so that the people can use it and how they can interact better with their teams and with management, managers, and so forth. But I saw this when I was in another job seeking group and I
Okay.
saw this tool and I thought, you know what, this is really interesting.
Uh-huh.
It's predicting my personality based on what I have in my LinkedIn profile. It doesn't scrape the internet, it doesn't take other information that's out there, but it's what you have
Thank
in your
good.
LinkedIn profile. So what I found interesting about that is I'm like, well, let's see how accurate it is. They claim at least an 80% accuracy rate. And I looked at it for mine and I'm like, this seems pretty good. This seems pretty accurate on me. And so, how else can I use this as a job seeker? They have a Google tool widget that you can download to your computer. You can sign up, you can get 10 free profiles, so you can use them on your interviewers. And
Uh-huh.
certainly don't burn them on your friends and family because after that, there's
That's a
a
good
pretty
point.
big
Yeah.
annual fee. So, with that, I went ahead and I used it on interviews. It really helped me so that I could connect and know and how to interview with that interviewer's personality, right?
Right.
So, for example, if that person was a real get down to business type of a person, a real driver, for example, it's based on the DISC personality profiling system.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what I would do is, okay, if that person's a driver and they're really like this, then I knew I had to say, this is how efficiently I could work. These are all the things that I could do. I could work quickly, and it gave me different examples. So under the different quick meeting tips, which is also in the tool, it'll tell you I need to call Foster to, and then I'll say make a sales pitch, negotiate. It gives you a lot of different options. I think this is really great for salespeople as well. But one of them is convince them to hire you. And when I saw that,
Okay.
I'm like, that's the secret sauce. I'm like,
Okay.
wow, I
Yeah.
haven't seen any other tool have that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to connect. If Dana's a hiring manager, and I really want this job, I'm excited about this job.
Right.
I want to connect with Dana. You know, there's some things that I can find out about Dana. Hey, what if Dana likes animals, and we know that's true? Then I will want to talk about that. We're just people, y'all, and we connect with those people. We hire the people that we connect with. We don't hire people we feel uneasy about or we don't get along with. Because if I connect with Dana, Dana's gonna think, I hope that I'd be a good member of her team and I'd
Of
fit in with
course.
her team. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a fact. I mean, that
Yeah.
is absolutely fascinating. You know, I use Chat GPT on a pretty regular basis,
Uh-huh.
but I'm, excited to hear about this software. I think it will be something that can put some additional tools in the tool belt of our job seekers. So, yeah, so I want to definitely give the floor back, but I'd like to learn more about different ways our job seekers can use this to
Hmm.
support them.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, within the tool, it's got a lot of different things. So you can go through and see how can you email them, how to get them to take action. So many different scenarios, and it has a lot of different scenarios within the tool.
Okay.
How to demo for them, how to negotiate with them, which is going to be important when you're trying to negotiate your salary, right?
Ah.
And negotiate that job
Wow.
opportunity, how to close them if you're in sales, right? So, how do you close this kind of a personality? So, with that, also, once you land in a job, you'd want to understand the personalities of the people you're working with, as
Yeah.
well as senior leadership. How can you influence them? How can you do that? But for sure, for job seekers, I have found this to be an invaluable tool, and it's really helped me in the different job interviews, especially when you have a panel interview. You've got multiple people. You're like, okay, how do
Oh yeah.
I appeal to that person? How do I appeal to this person? How do I answer that person? So it gives you the guidelines of how to convince them to hire you and in that role. So really think it has a lot of great tips and tricks in there. Certainly anybody can look at anyone's LinkedIn profile just to know about them, but
Okay.
they're not really going to understand their personality and how to interview with them.
That's right. You guys remember when we would walk into this is pre-COVID. It's still, I mean, we're starting to pick this up again, but pre-COVID, guys, we would walk into we get an interview. We'd walk into the office. We'd walk into Patty's office, and hypothetical now, guys. This is a hypothetical situation I'm throwing at you, and I see airplanes, fighter jets, and all that kind of stuff all over Patty's office. I see some plaque on her office that said that she was voted the 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 best fighter pilot, and then when I walk in there, and this is Foster now, guys, I'm wanting to connect. So since I like that kind of stuff, and I used to be a member of the Confederate Air Force, I started talking about airplanes and stuff because I know, hey, I've learned a little bit when I walked into this office. I've been observant enough to see that Patty likes airplanes and fighter jets and all that stuff. So I'm gonna start talking about that, and we're gonna connect on that point. Now we're gonna get down to business. We're not gonna spend too much time with all of this stuff. But now, here comes COVID, back when in COVID time, and we went to Zoom.
Yeah.
And a lot of times nowadays, guys, we never even see this person. We interview on Zoom, we interview on Teams, we interview like where we are right now looking at each other. Well, if you have done your research and you know a little bit about this person, you will know, Foster, you know a little bit about what Patty likes, you know a little bit about how to approach Patty. And I will approach Patty in that manner. And I'm going to look at Patty's face now and see if I'm making a connection. Because if she's smiling and I'm saying something that Patty likes to hear, I'm talking about these fighter jets, and Patty gets that big smile on her face, I'm going to continue to connect with Patty on that level. And
Right.
all during that interview, y'all know how I am. I'm Mr. Talk It Up. But all during that interview, I'm bringing up things, and I'm alluding to things and making things in the conversation similar to what I'd see in fighter jets, or something, or maybe something else that Patty and I talked about that she shared with me that she likes. It's a connection thing, guys. Now,
It
I
is.
love the technology, but what do we do with this technology? Technology is wonderful tools. I heard Patty say that this is a wonderful AI tool, but it is a tool, you guys. And how do we use that tool becomes very important at that point. Okay, shut up, Foster.
No, that was really great, Foster. Thanks for adding that additional context. It really is a great tool. You're right. This is another tool in the Job Seekers Toolkit. And
Yes.
I can tell you a lot of people don't know about this tool. So, how else can you get a leg up on all the other job seekers out there that are going for the
Uh-huh.
same job? This is how you can make a difference. This is one of the ways, right? All skills being equal, how else can you make yourself likable? How else can you go ahead and connect with that person, try to build some kind of rapport with that person so that they can say, you know what, I really like this person. I
Now,
really want
is
to have them on the team.
is this software free?
It is free for 10 LinkedIn profiles that you can look at. After that, there's an annual fee, and which breaks down to monthly like $49 a month. So I would say use it judiciously. Use it
Yes.
only on your interviewers and don't use it on friends and family. I know that when I first used it, I said, I wonder how accurate it is. So I went ahead and sent it, to two of my friends, and they said, "You know what? This is like 95% me." And the other one's like, "Yeah, this is like 80% me." And I'm like, "Okay, that's enough." And
Pretty
so I
good.
had
Yeah.
used two of them on my friends just to see if it was, but I know that it works. So I'm just telling everybody else, save your pennies. Definitely go ahead, use them on people you're interviewing with. Be very judicious with them and close that sidebar when you're done with looking at that profile, or it will count that if you clicked on somebody else's profile, it'll count against your free 10. So you don't want that to happen either. Best case scenario, just close out the whole tab in your Google search bar so that you don't have any issues with that for sure.
I like this because this totally fits into my personality. Because when I'm walking in and I'm talking to anybody, even in a networking setting, guys, I'm trying to find out a little bit about what's going on. I listen to the guy below us down there is Michael Castleberry, and I listen to him talk. I said, you know what? I want to let me listen and see what Michael's all about. What's he talking about? What's he looking for? Kind of thing. And Michael's got a radio voice anyway. You guys will be hearing it here in a little bit. But you know, when I found out that he had been in healthcare and he was pretty high up the food chain there. He's in corporate development. We're going to hear a little bit more about that here in a few minutes. But I dug in on Michael. I said, okay, I've seen Michael at this networking event over here. I've seen him here. I've seen him there. I've seen him at South Lake Focus Group. Uh, Actually, I think Michael, I first saw you at Sonia's Monday Motivation, I think is what she calls it. And that's where I said, okay, I want to connect with this Michael guy and I want to see what he's looking for because I want to help him because he is a sharp guy.
Yeah.
And that is honestly is why he's here on the show this morning. I'm glad Michael said yes and let me bring him on the show because I want you companies that I've invited to see him. I want you guys to see and hear Michael.
All right. So, if someone were interested in buying this software,
Uh-huh.
after, getting a few getting their 10 trial profiles in, what would they do? Where would they go? And what would you recommend?
So they would go to the Crystal Knows website. After it runs out of the 10, it'll probably send you an email saying, hey, you've run out of your 10. Would you like to continue to subscribe? And then it will give you that option. I'm currently under a grandfathered plan that they don't offer anymore, which is a month-to-month plan. And that was offered. I've had it since COVID. So, but
Oh
it
yeah.
has helped me when I had a job as well in negotiating contracts with my clients because I looked at that client's personality and so
There
I
you
knew how to
go.
negotiate. So I continue to use it with my job as well
Oh,
and getting to
wow.
know people
Okay.
within the organization and get to know people's personalities, but definitely with tough clients. I'm like, all right, let's look at their personality. Let's
Yeah.
look how I need to negotiate with this
Yeah.
person.
Like, how do I approach them, etc.? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Making that communication, making it work.
It's really
Yep.
important to do. Um, and of course, Chat GPT that I brought up earlier is a little different, right? It is an AI tool, but it's not necessarily tied to helping understand personalities or LinkedIn. But the great thing is there's a lot of tools out there that can help us, whether we're unemployed, whether we're looking for employment, whether we're already in a role, to succeed. And it takes a person to be able to make it super successful. In itself, it's probably not that useful. But when we I guess you could say, figure out some tools that could help us out. It can take everyday tasks, it can take your communication, it can take a lot of different things to the next level.
Hmm.
So, especially if you're, like we talked about earlier, looking for a role and you want to, for those just joining in, want to be able to connect with the hiring leaders. Having a tool like Crystal knows would help you possibly get a foot up in the door, help you understand the best way to communicate. And part of interviewing is reading your audience and knowing how to communicate, so it could set you
That's
up
right.
for successful interviewing.
That's right.
Absolutely.
I like that analogy that you said, Patty, about using it, because sometimes we get thrown in a room and there's 4 or 5 people in that room interviewing us.
Yeah.
Well, do we know who they are? Do we know where they are in the company? Do we know their titles and things like that? But how do I connect with those people? Because
Hmm.
that's kind of person I am anyway. So okay, I like this product, y'all. I like the way Patty does demonstrations. This product and it's awesome. She does it at some of our groups. So we're going to continue as long as we can have Patty. We're going to continue to invite her to come out to different groups to show us this software and stuff. And I will let you guys know when that's going to happen, because you want to see this. You want to see somebody demonstrate this
Yeah.
product.
Patty, how did you find out about this software?
I found out about it from another job search group in the Chicago area,
Okay.
and it was just, Crystal knows, but then I saw, oh, this is interesting, know the personality. But the thing that wasn't clear to me until I looked at it further was looking at it, convince them to hire you. I saw
Oh.
that little tidbit in there. What do I need to say to
Oh.
convince them to hire you?
Yeah.
I just saw information. Oh, here's their profile. I looked at the other tabs within it, and I'm like, wow, this is really powerful. Like,
Hmm.
I can say these types of things to convince that person to hire me,
Yeah,
and
that
that's what
is
set me apart.
powerful. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's all about relating to your audience. And one of the things through the years that I would do public speaking on, which Foster probably met me during one of these topics, where
I
I would
did.
discuss presenting yourself professionally and relating to the person on the other side of the table. And this was before we had these tools like Crystal knows. And part of what we're doing, and if you get into the psychology behind interviewing, um, is building a relationship and kind of aligning with the speed and the personality and the dynamic of the person on the other side of the table, or
Hmm.
people on the other side of the table, being your best self, but learning how to relate and build a relationship with that person and kind of set yourself apart versus sound like a machine or auto
exactly.
playback. Yeah. And for some people, knowing how to relate based on different personality styles can come easy, but not for everyone. So a tool
That's
like
right.
this
Yep.
can help if it's not something that is in your natural skill sets. Everyone has different skill sets, different strengths and weaknesses. A tool like this might be very much worth your investment,
Yeah. Very accurate. Yeah.
especially in the job search, especially if you can kind of set yourself apart and get yourself noticed. I think a lot of times just getting in the door and getting an interview is a big part of the process.
Yeah,
It is a huge part of the process. I like what you just said, Dana, because that is the first thing I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because when I'm out networking, which is all the time, I
Yeah.
I'm observing you guys. I'm seeing who is um who is sounding interesting to me, and we all have a set of factors that we zero in on. But when I met Patty and we started talking about Chicago and all this stuff, Patty had my ear. All of a sudden, we had a connection spot, and I started using both my ears to hear what Patty had said. Patty, you didn't know I wasn't using just one ear, did you? Just kidding. But guys, if you connect with someone and you got something in common, believe me, they're going to zero in on you. They're going to hear a lot more of what you got to say, rather than, "Hey, Dana, you remember when Charlie Brown's teacher would be going, 'Wah, wah, wah, wah,'"
Wah, 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 wah,
Yeah.
wah,
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 wah.
wah.
Y'all, when you're in those conversations, a lot of times that's what the people are hearing. If you're not connecting with that person, you are Charlie Brown's teacher. Now, I know everybody out there listening to me probably don't even remember, didn't have experiences with Charlie Brown when they were growing up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. This is a great tool for job seekers to use. Definitely take advantage of your 10 free ones. Differentiate yourself, know that interviewer's personality, and set yourself apart.
That's right. Set yourself apart through connecting, guys. We're just people. That's what we understand. Use your discerning when you're talking to hiring managers. Like when Michael gets a job, Michael's going to be a hiring manager. You are going to want to listen intently to what Michael's got to say, but pay attention and see if you can pick up something about Michael that you might be able to connect with him and talk to him about, because he's going to look at you. See how he's looking at the screen right now? He's going to look at you like that with interest.
There we go.
Yeah, we are close to commercial, guys. You will be hearing music pretty soon, and then we are going to come back. We're going to meet Michael. Patty, thank you so much for being with us, and and thank you ahead of time for saying yes to me inviting you to come out to other venues to teach.
Anytime. Happy to help. If
Have
anyone
that.
has
Good
questions,
stuff.
just let me know.
Great stuff.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Michael, had you ever met Patty before? Because I know that some of the venues I've seen both of you guys on. Good.
Yep.
Absolutely. Patty is you can tell she's a ferocious networker herself.
Yes.
And we met through one of the many networking events that we both attend. And she and I had a late call because she's on the West Coast. And I got to tell you, she was blowing my mind with her. She actually did one of those searches for me and said, if I was
Oh,
interviewing
good.
this work, and I said, absolutely.
Oh, there's
So-
our music, guys.
Sweet
Yep.
sounding groups like the
Sorry,
United
Michael. I'm sorry to cut you off. There's our music. We're going to
the
commercial.
Trojans love
See you guys
Super.
in a second.
These are the
Okay.
people
Patty.
in private
Yep.
school vouchers to illegal immigrants in Arizona. And they want to do the same in Texas. But Dwayne Burns said no. And that's why they're targeting him in this election. The voucher program they're pushing is a magnet for illegal immigration. Fully qualified to receive these $10,000 vouchers, illegal aliens would go to the front of the line ahead of U.S. citizens. These groups want to replace Dwayne Burns with a rubber stamp, and they've got one in Helen Kerwin. Kerwin has pledged to support this voucher scheme if elected, but we can't let that happen. Dwayne Burns' top priority is border security. He's stopped taxpayer-funded handouts to illegal aliens, and he's endorsed by every law enforcement association in Texas. Political ad paid for by the Dwayne Burns campaign.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1820. 855-325-1820. That's 855-325-1820.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at tunein.com.
Good morning, Jobfather Nation. We're excited to be back. As we mentioned earlier, Joco Community Radio is going through some
Big
rebranding.
changes, yeah.
And with that, it will bring a larger audience, but we are the voice of North Texas. It is bringing together a number of radio collectives throughout the North Texas area, bringing together more information, more collaboration, and more partnerships. So we are proud to be a part of North Texas Radio, the voice of North Texas. And the Jobfather, we're actually listened to and uh, in the entire US. We actually have numerous groups and listeners throughout the US and globally. So we're really excited about that. And we are excited to be back for the second half. We've got a great lineup for you listeners. Of course, I have a feeling that Foster's probably going to have a dumb dad joke. But
Well,
before
the
we get
second
there,
part, yeah.
before we get there, I didn't get to make any announcements in the first half about new roles. So don't forget to reach out to Foster if you would like to advertise your positions on this show, or partner with Foster with Search for You. A lot of opportunity to support the network and honestly align with the best possible candidates. But just so you know, we have at Beacon Oral Specialists, we have a number of billing and revenue cycle management positions available. We also hire in oral surgery practices throughout the United States, front office, patient care coordinators, as well as surgical and dental assistants. So we do have a couple practices here in Grand Prairie and Arlington, Texas. If you are interested in opportunities, let us know. In addition to that, Caris Life Sciences is hiring, and they also are hiring in their billing and their lab operations. Billing is here locally in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Their lab operations is a growing operations team in the molecular oncology space, and they hire all kinds of lab and scientific professionals in Phoenix, Arizona, as well as customer support.
Oh,
So
Phoenix,
check
huh?
out Beacon Oral Specialists and check out CarisLifeSciences.com. And again, to have your positions advertised, reach out to Foster Williams.
Yep, that's me. And Caris, guys, is Caris,
Yes.
Life Sciences. Caris. Dana was there for, oh my God, Dana was there for over 10
Close to
years, I
10
think.
years. I
Yeah,
was there
close to
10
10 years.
years.
Yeah,
A little
yeah,
over 10 years.
yeah.
Great organization.
It
I'm
is.
absolutely loving Beacon Oral Specialist. God opened that door for me.
Hey,
Great
Laura.
organization.
Yep, talking about connecting. That was our connection, Laura. That's Dana's boss. And we love her. And we want to say, hey, Laura. And I had to make, when you mentioned that you had things going on, that Karis had things going on out in Phoenix, I thought about Patty, because guess where Patty, our very own Patty Basche, right down there smiling, guess where she is? She is in the Phoenix area. And Patty, my sister lives in Phoenix, and when I go visit, Patty took me to barbecue because she knows that Foster likes barbecue. Now we're talking our whole thing today. We're talking about how to connect with people, and Patty and Ian took me to a place called Barbecue. It was pretty good. You wouldn't expect Phoenix, Arizona ain't got no good barbecue. Come on now, Foster, but it was pretty good. It really was. Now it ain't on Texas standards, but it was pretty good barbecue. I'm here to tell you. But so when I come back, we will either go back or we'll go to a new place that I'm hearing about. Patty, I got to spring a new place on you that I've heard about. I might actually come up with some idea and turn you and Ian onto something. I don't know. We'll see. My nephew
Great.
sharing with me. So, guys, down there, that good looking guy down there is Michael Castleberry. He's looking right. I want you guys to hear and see Michael. Michael is a corporate development executive. He's going to explain what that is to us. He's been in the healthcare arena, so there are a number of healthcare companies and initiatives that you want to listen to Michael talk about what it is, what his experience has been, and Michael is a VP level executive, guys. So Michael ain't one of them $20,000 hires now. So let's talk to Michael and see what's going on in his world. And maybe Michael has some target companies. I don't know. As a recruiter, I'm always asking that kind of stuff as a networker. So, hey, Michael.
Hello and good morning, afternoon, wherever you're from.
That's
First, I
right.
want to thank you guys for having me, and I want to thank Patty. I don't know where the music cut me off, but I can echo her expertise, and she actually did a test run with me when we connected on the side, and I went through it, and I go, yeah, that's about 95% right. If you interviewed from that approach, you would definitely have moved yourself to the top. So, Patty, thank you so much, and it's valuable what AI can do in any of the development, because I'm in development, but I don't care what role you're in. You're always in development. You're always doing
Isn't
something.
that the truth? Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. Let me do a quick landscape of who I am. I am a career healthcare professional, cut my teeth in operations when I had the stamina to do such a thing in the long-term care business. And did that for about 6 years for a private mom and pop, where basically I ran one facility, and then it grew to 12, where I ran 12 facilities and had probably about 300 employees that were over me at the young age of about 26.
Oh,
and
wow, man.
Yeah, and it was a mom and pop. So basically I was marketing, I was operations, I worked closely with regulatory, and then obviously I had to do development. You had to grow census. So it was a great opportunity to see what I did love about myself and what I did and what I didn't want to do. I was able to then make a leap into Kaiser Permanente. So I went from a small mom and pop to a large organization that was nationwide, and I ran 2 medical offices for them in the DFW area. And there I got to get experience working with multiple discipline providers, everybody from generalists to pediatricians to orthopedic surgeons. And I ran a large medical center for them that also had pharmacy, lab, urgent care, and then I ran one in the Plano area. So there I got to work with doctors and learn kind of how their minds work. Went to grad school at night while I was there and got my finance MBA, and I went straight to Big Four Consulting, where I did that for 5 years, consulting in the long-term care space. This was in the area of the Balanced Budget Act, and a lot of Medicare rates were being cut in the long-term care space. I did that for 5 years, working with partners and director levels until I got promoted up to that level. Due to the adding of 2 young sons and the extensive travel, I jumped on with one of the clients that we had and went back into the private space as their corporate lead for FP&A and development. And the development role there was really to grow organically the base business, and then also work with our board of directors to sell the company, which was ultimately what we did. It was almost kind of like a private equity type sell, and I worked myself out of a job. I got a little crazy, and I decided I want to go work for a Fortune 500, a large player in an industry. And I was hired by Fresenius Kidney Care, where I got expansive levels of FP&A responsibility, starting off as a director of an FP&A department of about $350 million and about 4 employees. And before I left, it was a $6 billion book of business, 1,200 clinics, and 15 to 20 employees that were working under me as we managed a $6 billion revenue budget. And we also managed the entire North America salary budget. And so we got a lot of exposure working with multiple disciplines. And in the last 5 years I was there, I had a dual responsibility of diving in and doing direct development, growing our organic development with our joint venture partners, identifying new joint venture targets and helping those grow. And then I also went out and talked to acute hospitals and got third-party contracts to provide our services. I became an empty nester in 2022. So in 2021, I networked and found a job with a former colleague to be part of his PE development team for Webster Equity for Baymark Health, which is the largest opioid outpatient treatment company in the country, basically working for their platform, going out and buying rural mom and pop 1 to 5 clinic opioid treatment centers, both in the methadone as well as the Suboxone space for those who were addicted to painkillers that were opioid. So I did that, grew that pipeline rapidly. The capital markets made them slow down, and I shifted to another Webster entity, Oceans Healthcare, which is basically it's basically just behavioral health. And I went out and did outpatient treatment centers and rural behavioral health hospital systems to buy them to roll into the platform. So that's what I'm winding down right now doing. And it's just because of the capital markets. They're losing some really good talent, but we can't wait a year to the engines fire up. So subsequently, I want to do development because I've been kind of around a circle and a square peg as a finance person because I'm truly an extrovert. I want to be out. I want to be in front of people. And honestly, I get out of bed every day enjoying the development aspects of the role. I love being in front of people, and I've really been successful at it because I'm able to leverage my vast experience in operations, finance, and development and become a very empathetic and collaborative and need-based representative of the company, whether I'm on the buy side or if I'm selling a product. I can talk their talk, and it's been it's just fun. And I'm at the stage of my life where I'm empty nester. I can travel. I was traveling 85% of the time, and I would have traveled more, but we had to be in the office for a day, reporting to the C-suite as well as the board of directors on the PE firm. Just kind of pipeline reporting, whether we wanted to go left or right on deals, and then obviously working with operations development. I worked with legal and even our third party consultants when we're doing quality of earnings. So working with large consulting firms as we were putting these deals together. So I'm looking for an individual contributing role. I want to be out and I want to basically own my production, but I want to be part of the team because I really do enjoy mentoring as well. That's the most satisfaction I get. So that's Michael. And again, available to entertain opportunities. But again, looking for an individual contributing role. I'm agnostic to the industry. I'm getting a lot of opportunities in Foster in a lot of platform sales that are in healthcare. And so basically getting a lot of conversations there, but there's a lot of competition in the market. And I haven't done those types of sales, but I can pitch why my skills and my experience are cross relatable. I'm looking to stay in the DFW area or the Nashville area or a role that will let me bounce back and forth. I have a son who plays football at a local Division II school, and this will be his fall. And I want to kind of be there for him to watch him go out on his swan song. But then in Nashville, I have a aging mother who's doing great. She's as healthy as she is ornery, but I need to be there for her a little bit more, which became kind of glaring that my brother needed help when I was there for the holidays. So most of the roles I've been interviewing really don't care where I'm at. They just want you to produce. And but I'm flexible to be at both if that's what is required. Again, I'm industry agnostic, but I do think my immediate and quickest ramp up as a contributor would be in the healthcare sector. So Michael Castleberry, and thank you for the time. And if I can help you in any way, if you're on the phone with my contacts or you look me up on LinkedIn, I'll be more than glad to help because that's what I love doing most is mentoring and kind of paying it forward because one of my little Castleberries may knock on your door and I'm sure they're going to need help professionally as well one day. So anyway, hopefully that's a quick 5 minute or so.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I'm glad you told me about Oceans. I wanted to ask you a little bit about Oceans. I wasn't familiar with them, but because I've met you now, I'm somewhat familiar with Oceans Healthcare. And Michael, tell me what you like doing the best. What gets Michael's motor running on the everyday basis? Okay, I'm going to go in, and this is what I really, really like doing.
Well, it's kind of like when I was young, I always loved cutting the grass. That would be because I could, first of all, you got some exercise, but you could see what you accomplished.
Right.
And so I really enjoy the hunt, the art of the sale, growing the pipeline. And to relate that, I started at Oceans as a one-person development team. I reported to the chief development officer. He primarily was over de novos, which is, for those that are not aware with de novos, those are facility builds. There's capital injection, and you're building bricks and mortar, or you're rehabbing bricks and mortar to start the business. I went out and was looking to buy companies. And when I started, they had a one-page pipeline and probably about maybe 4 million in acquired EBITDA. I grew that in 5 months to about a 6-page and probably over 100 million in acquired EBITDA targets, of which we already had 2 in LOI. So that's me getting to see the grass being cut. And now I'm pulling deals to fruition. I'm pulling the deals to fruition. And what I'm able to do is, I love healthcare because not only am I cutting the grass, but I'm doing it for a transcendent cause. I mean, I'm helping small mom and pops who are tired of chasing staff, billing, credentialing, their professionals. We end up becoming kind of a MSO for them. It's not exactly one-to-one, but we become this value proposition so they can concentrate on 2 things: providing better care, taking better care of their patients, taking better care of their employees, which equates to taking better care of their patients. And they can grow the business, not just for monetarily, and that's the least of the reasons, but to spread your wings and take care of more people, especially in the behavioral health space, which often have a dual diagnosis of some type of addiction. And
they do.
It's a transcendent cause. And so while I was a former bean counter and I'm in development, I think I can cast a web of improving the day today better than it was yesterday. So at least I like that. So hopefully that kind of gives you an idea of what gets me out of bed every day, and helping everybody on the team. I can help the guy that's taking out the trash, or the CEO. Or the CEO, whatever it is. I'm a product of a entrepreneurial father where everything, if it didn't get done, if somebody didn't show up, you had to do it, or his boys had to do it. And there was no option to not do it. So that's kind of
that was my dad.
Yeah.
There were 2 things that you said. Well, one thing that you said, but one thing that popped up another idea in my head. I like the fact that you've been involved in that financial end of things, so you can understand how to put things together. Now, the question that I have for Michael is, I know that as we talk about these transferable skills all the time that companies don't seem to look over, but in your experience, you became very, very knowledgeable of the ins and outs of the service that was provided. Now, healthcare is where Michael has been, but what I'm hearing is Michael would be someone to consider, even if your company is not in healthcare. If you have a exemplary product, you can get Michael and you can get him in, get his brain wrapped around what it is you're trying to do and where you're trying to go and who it is that you're trying to see, and turn him loose and let him go get him. And is that accurate, Michael?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the reality is at the end of the day, there's some type of a need that someone has, or they wouldn't be seeing you. They wouldn't be interested in talking. And so I can cross relate. I mean, you're either driving results through people, processes, and technology. And what is it that is causing you the most pain? And what can I do to help with that? And I can cross and I can sell the fact that I can, cross other conversations and industries, because I have managed multiple disciplines in my life, and you have to kind of keep a common ground, whether I've managed the medical records, the pharmacy, the HR. And then I'm also selling, I used to sell a $6 billion budget to operators, to development, to IT, to quality. I was always selling it because while we did bottoms up budgets, which gives buy-in, you couldn't do a bottom up budget that didn't meet the expectations of the C-level leadership, which was trying to manage what the street was expecting. So I had to manage people that promised too much and didn't promise enough, and get them to meet in the middle and understand that I'm on your side. So honestly, and HR has one motive, finance has another motive, development has another motive.
It.
So you just got to kind of, you have to bring everyone together, and you do that through an empathetic, trustworthy partner. And I do that because of my experience. And then I also have status because I've been through the highs and lows, and I'm truly trying to make sure I'm providing a service that you need, and I'm
Right.
providing, not forcing something, because I know I can provide something to somebody every day. The timing just may not be right. Just like when I mentor my teams, my door's always open. You may just not like what you hear. And it may be because you're 20, it may be because you're a 25-year-old professional instead of the 35-year-old professional. And that's okay.
That's okay. That's all right.
I've been there. But it may be just timing. And with a sales target, it may just be, okay, the timing's not right, but then you still leverage the relationship and you still
There it
cultivate,
is.
reach out to them every 3 months. Because that way you're truly involved in cultivating the relationship, just not making the quick sale. Don't get me wrong. If you're out there and you're a salesperson, you also have to have short-term targets as well.
Yeah, you do. That's good. That's really, really good advice there. You absolutely do need to have those short-term targets, because the short-term targets, guys, can build and grow themselves and turn into something a little bit bigger need, of which Michael or whoever's involved, or you are involved in, know the ins and outs of. And you can get involved. I can tell by talking to Michael, he's an operations kind of guy, because believe it or not, as a recruiter, I was hired into an operations kind of deal. I am still hired into companies to go and fix problems. Hey, this is what we're trying to do. Why can't we get it done? And, I do some projects even now on that operations end of things. How are we doing things? Who's connected where, and all that sort of thing. And so I like what you got to say. I see my buddy up in Canada is with us, Smita Mehdi. That is a good friend of mine. I'm glad to see you, Smith. I just wanted to give you a shout out while I had an opportunity. So, Michael, getting back to this idea that I got of transferable skills for Michael, other industries, is there another industry that you have an interest in? Maybe it's something that is congruent to where you have been, but a different industry that you might have an interest in.
Well, yeah, I would love to be a professional golfer, but it's just it's
That ain't
not
gonna
working
happen.
out.
That ain't.
It's not working out. It really isn't. You know what? I would truly. I don't look at it getting out of healthcare, but to kind of leverage that, I've looked at like target companies like HCA, which is hospitals, and I've not
Yes,
done hospitals, but
I was going to suggest them to you.
yeah,
We've got a number of connections there.
and that's a different type of sales that I'm not doing currently, but it's very similar to what I did at Fresenius, and it would be hospitals. So while it's still healthcare, it would be a jump. I would love to be able to do anything that would be helping others, because I'm at the stage in my life where I want to work. I'm energetic. I love going to work. I love being productive. So I'm not going to slow down, but I also want to be able to see the grass I cut, and
There
see
you go.
who
That
I've
analogy.
impacted. So if somebody gave me a call and said, look, I saw you on this forum. I think you'd be a great fit for our operations team because I've got a mixture of experienced professionals, but they're not being led completely or consistently. I would jump in and be more than glad to go, well, that's my strength, and would love to do that. And it could be in anything. I haven't really even thought about jumping industries because I believe in the healthcare. I believe that healthcare is a challenging space, and I think it needs experienced professionals to not give up on it. Because I shifted to development because I love the thrill of the chase, being with people. Honestly, I don't get up and feel like I'm going to work every day. And so
That's what it feels like when you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the next 10 years of my career, I'd like to have a job that's like, man, I can't wait to go after the next whatever. Or, am I doing a presentation? Am I helping someone? Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed finance and I was damn good at it because I wouldn't have been able to do it as long. But is that the fire in my belly? No. But you know what? There are some roles that people have called me about and go, look, we're trying to get this approved. You would be great as an operational finance lead, to where you're out in the field and you're the liaison. So you're a quasi operator who understands the numbers and can pivot on those tough conversations. So everybody leaves harmoniously, still chasing the goal called the budget,
chasing the goal.
and the quality, then the quality numbers. I never talk about income without the quality in healthcare because you can't have one without the other. at all. So that's, you got me. I've got some homework to do now. I'm going to think about that again. I want to be a over 50 professional golfer, but it's just not in the cards. So I can think about something.
I'm not going
else.
to encourage you in that direction.
Thank
I've
you.
never even seen your golf game. So,
Yeah.
as you were talking, I'm thinking because mental health and things that are around in support of mental health is growing in the United States, and we all can understand why. And so, you have had some experience on the mental health care side, have you not?
Yeah, I did. That was Oceans. So that is truly
Okay.
behavioral health. But you also understand that you're involved in behavioral health in the opioid treatment space because the services that Baymark provides are purely not just providing you medication. You actually have to go and get counseling. You have to get checked on your psyche and see how you're managing the challenges outside of the medication, because it's a combination of, you got to have counseling and that type of treatment along with the true medication assisted treatment.
I thought I heard that music. Oh my goodness, we're going pretty good here, Michael. They're cutting us off. Thank you, Michael, for being with us today, and thank you so much for listening.
This is the voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
Remember Helen Kerwin? As county commissioner, she raised the tax rate over 95%.